Hello. Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about a lot of new products to my collection, some really popular ones, some overhyped ones, and some that you wanted me to check out and some I wanted to check out for myself, and I found some really good underrated products. So what is worth the hype, what you should be picking up, what you don't have to pick up, all of that will be covered in this video. I don't really have just affordable products. I have different price ranges in this video, and I've decided that I will be including such videos ever so often, like a mix of high-end as well as affordable products, and just talk about products that I have tried out and I have a liking towards, not just stick to affordable category because that just performs better. I used to do that a lot back in the day because affordable videos are the ones that actually catches a lot of people's attention, but I know that there are a lot of makeup enthusiasts here that like to try out different products, different price range. So I'm going to be including more such videos so that it is catering to a wider audience. Okay, so anyways, this video is filmed in not natural light. So this video is filmed in studio light at 9:15. Okay, I have started to film some videos in natural light with no makeup and all of that, just so that I can cater to, again, different audiences, different preferences. But I've been filming the whole day today and there's only so much I can film in natural light, so I have to get back to the studio light again. And so yeah, there's no filter, no nothing. This is my skin. It is looking a little bit too dewy because I have dewied up my base because I tested a lot of products. Some of them ended up being a little bit dewy. Anyways, let's get started. The first one I have to talk to you guys about is skincare. I have so many products, bear with me, hold on, and I think a lot of you guys would be very intrigued with some of these products. So the first one I'm going to be talking to you about is this Tint Milk Skin Refreshing Toner. This is a moisturizing and soothing toner, and I actually first got a small size of this one, like a 10 ml or something, that was for around 250 rupees, and this giant size of this is for 150 ml, and I got this for around 1000 rupees from Tira Beauty. Off late, Tira's discounts and everything has been so nice that I don't even look at any other place to shop from, so I just got it from there because I also got a really good coupon. And this is my favorite toner of all of the milky toners I have tried out. This is what works the best for my skin type, which is normal to sort of dry skin. It's very hydrating, very nourishing, and gives me that very hydrated glass skin effect. Would you like this if you have oily skin? No. Would you like this if you sweat a lot, if you get really like sweaty on your face? I don't think so. But if you have dry skin and you just want your makeup to look so much nicer, try this out and you will thank me. This Tilted Milk ceramic milk ampule underneath makeup. I use this just underneath makeup, not on a day-to-day basis because I feel like it's a little bit too glowy, but this under makeup just makes it so glowy and flawless. Like no setting spray, no Hollywood flawless filter gives the look this one gives. It's just so good. So if you have super dry, dehydrated skin, these are the products you should be trying out. And I finally tried the Dalba. Okay, I'm calling it Dalba First Space Serum, and I understand the hype about this. It again makes your makeup really nice and glowy. It also sets your makeup. It takes off all of that powderiness, so you can use this for makeup or just like that to hydrate your skin. It is heavily fragrance, so if you don't really like fragrance in your skincare or like just in general products, you wouldn't like it. It almost smells like a Sol de Janeiro body mist, so just be aware of that if you have if you're very sensitive to fragrance. But I like it. I like the effect it gives. It looks like I haven't used it much because I just don't want to look too much with all of these products, so I spray a small amount of this and it does the job. This kind of reminds me of the Pixi Glow Mist, which I decluttered, by the way, but similar kind of thing, just that doesn't have, I think, this much fragrance to it. So also a little TMI if you want to know. Fun fact, I was approached for a sponsorship by this brand and I declined it. There are very few sponsorships I regret not picking up. This is one of that. They wanted a dedicated video and I was like, what am I going to do with just one spray in the entire video? For me, sometimes even if the product is really nice, even if the product is something I really like, if the concept doesn't work out, I tend to decline a lot of sponsorships. And this is something like I think about till date. And not a lot of times I do that. Next up, let's move on to primers. I have quite a few primers to talk to you about. The NYX The Face Glow Cripping Primer. I am surprised surprised by how much I actually really like this one. It doesn't have that sticky feel the e.l.f. gripping primer has, or those usual gripping primers have. I mean, it does have a little bit of it, but it also has that milky consistency. So it's very hydrating as well as gripping. So it doesn't alter the makeup that goes on top of it. Like if you feel like the e.l.f. or the milk primer just makes your makeup very patchy and it's hard to blend, you would really like this. And it also does make your makeup really long lasting. So such a nice primer, and I feel like more compatible with a lot of skin types and a lot of products. I was pleasantly surprised. And then some more gripping primers. A lot of you guys asked me to try out the Swiss Beauty Grip Me Hold Me primer. This is also very similar to the e.l.f. one, but just that this is a little bit like more tugging on your skin, and it also has the same finish but little less dewy than the e.l.f. product. And this has that same consistency that the milk primer has. So sometimes makeup might be a little bit harder to blend on top of this. Like the products I've used so far blends really well on this. It's not like tugging, but there is a slight friction when you're blending your makeup products on, but it doesn't make it look patchy or go on differently. So that's the reason I like this, and I have actually been using this over my e.l.f. primer, which is like very surprising. And I think it was about time I put that one aside and started to try out a lot of different primers, and I'm super impressed. Then a lot of you guys asked me to try out the Insight Prep Plus Perfect Hydra Blur Primer. This is also said to be a gripping primer, but this is nothing like any of these gripping primers. I mean, it's not giving that gripping feel. First of all, it's a little bit pore-filling, little bit glowy, but apart from that, it doesn't give you that gripping effect. And this reminds me a lot of the NYX primer. Wait, let me tell you which one. This, if you remember this NYX Plump Right Back primer, it reminds me of that. Like it's a plumping, hydrating primer, but nothing more than that. I'm not sure how many people would find it very fascinating. I like it. Like it makes my makeup really dewy. Like that's what is underneath all of this. I didn't even moisturize my skin because I used this primer and then the Insight primer on top of that. This one is the Flicka Professional Silk Touch Milk Cream moisturizer and primer. So a lot of people recommended this as a dupe for the Embryolisse Late Cream Concentrate, which I beg to differ because that one has a different kind of consistency. It's a little bit more thin and fluid, and it's a little bit easier to blend. This was like a little more thicker, and it's also very heavily fragranced, which reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. This is a dupe more so of the Charlotte Tilbury one than the Embryolisse Late Cream Concentrate. So if you have very dry skin, you would like it, but again, the fragrance might be a little bit off-putting because I can still smell it. It lingers for a long time, so just keep that in mind. But it is a nice hydrating primer. Is it pore blurring? Is it pore filling? I'm not sure. I tried out a lot of skin tints and everything. So I tried out this e.l.f. Halo Glow skin tint. It does have a visible glow to the skin, and I will be talking about this more in my dedicated skin tints video. So I did like it, but I don't really like the shade match or the undertone match of most of the e.l.f. products. So I was not very impressed with this, even though it could have been a good product, but just the user experience and everything, I was just not impressed. And then I also tried the NYX Buttermelt Glazed Soft Glow Skin Tint. It does have that soft glow to your skin, and I would recommend this for people with dry skin particularly. And it just looks like butter on the skin, like glazed and nice and glowy. And I wore this to gym and everything. It is not the most long-lasting skin tint. Like I could see that it started to fade away around this part and all of that, but it just wears really well, and it doesn't look that bad, but it does make you look very visibly glowy. So just keep this in mind every single time you're using this and getting ready and all of that, because it can make you look like a glazed donut, and I'm not sure how many people like that because it is mentioned right here, glazed. I think that was intentional, so I like that kind of finish. I'm not sure how many people like it. And then I tried the Milk Makeup Skin Tint, and I was impressed. This is not something you can apply with your fingers. Surprisingly, most of the skin tints I could get to work with fingers, but this one just is a little bit like tacky, so you need a brush, otherwise it just gets a little bit patchy and you can see finger streaks all over. But the finish, the coverage, it's just like my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer in a skin tint form. It has good coverage, it has good finish, and I absolutely loved it. I'm not sure why e.l.f. hasn't duped this yet. This is such a good product. Usually, of all of the Milk products I've tried out their primer, I've tried out their setting spray, I've tried out their contour, concealer. I was not impressed with anything, even the blush. Nothing. Just this one, so good. I'm impressed. This one, I got it in the shade 8, which is a pretty good match for me. It's a little bit neutral. So yeah. And then I, on popular demand, picked up the PAC HD foundation in a smaller size, and this time I went for the shade 3. I've tried out the shade 2.3, 2.5, all a little bit lighter and neutral for me. I like the shade 3 as a better match. It's what I have on my face right now. Still such a classic, iconic foundation this is. Like, irrespective of the packaging or reformulation, it still looks so good. Like a beautiful satin finish, very flawless HD finish, doesn't exaggerate, emphasize any pose, looks like you have a filter on but you don't really have a filter on. That's the kind of product this is, and I would recommend this to everyone. Anyone who wants to try this out. If you have a special occasion and you don't really have a big budget, they now have this travel size. Get this and get ready with this and you will be super impressed. This foundation has been with me through so many good events and it has photographed so well. No flashback, nothing, wears really well, and I don't even set my makeup. I'm not a makeup setter. I don't set my concealer, I don't set my foundation with the logo, and it's just such a good product. I also happened to try out the PAC HD concealer. I have spoken about it in few other videos. I'm not sure how many people are following all of my videos because yeah, long form videos is not performing the way it used to. Anyways, if you haven't watched those videos, the PAC HD liquid concealer is also a winner. It has a beautiful dewy finish, somewhat similar to the foundation, just a runnier version, like a thinner version of it. Doesn't exaggerate any lines, texture, nothing. Sits in place, don't have to set it. The minute you set it, it actually doesn't perform that well. That is the case for me with most concealers. This one just looks so good. If you have like a lot of lines underneath your eyes, mature skin, you would really like this. I just picked up the wrong shade, which is 260 medium, which is a little bit light and a highlighting shade for my skin tone. I would actually ideally like to pick up the perfect match for me, and I can use this every single day. It just looks like a high-end concealer. The packaging is so good, and PAC did send me this brush as well. This one is the PAC 4-in-1 brush. Okay, so this I am not very impressed with. I'll tell you why. This works for foundation if it is a little bit of a thicker foundation. If you have a very runny, thin foundation, it kind of soaks in a lot of product, makes it a little bit streaky, and do not use this for skin tint because this brush absorbs more product, so you wouldn't get a lot of coverage or anything. So if you want to shear out the coverage of a product, you can use this by all means. But okay, apart from this brush, which is okay, I don't understand why there's no like concealer brush but these tiny eyeshadow brushes. If there was like a good concealer brush, I'm not sure how the packaging would have been done, but I'm not the one who's designing it. But if it was a concealer brush instead of all of these eyeshadow brushes, it would have been much easier just to carry this along and just use this. These are like a little too big for eyeshadows. They don't like kind of precisely do anything. I feel like it doesn't solve a purpose for me, at least. I am a fan of PAC foundation brushes, just not this one. I use their brushes all the time. Like, this is my go-to foundation brush. Concealer brushes, I use them all the time. Then moving on to a very expensive foundation, very hyped. A lot of people liked it, some people did not. So I watched more videos about people not liking this than people enjoying using this product, and I still built up the courage to get it, and I don't regret it one bit. This one is the Dior Stick Foundation. I got this one in the shade 3.5N Neutral, and with Dior, if you're like picking up neutral, you get neutral. You don't get neutral cool or you don't get warm neutral. You get a neutral shade. And this is such a good stick foundation. Nothing like the stick foundations I've tried out so far. I mean, it has a beautiful glow to the skin and it has good coverage. It's a blending so well and sits so well on my skin throughout the day. And I am pretty much a fan of Dior foundations. If there's one high-end brand I would swear by and pick up foundations from, it's Dior. I've tried out so many and nothing has disappointed me so far. I just love the finish of this one. And if you have the budget, I mean in India it's priced at 6,000 rupees. You can pick up so many products in that price. If you wanted to try it out and you had your eyes on it, this will not disappoint you. So many people mentioned that it was cakey, it was clinging onto the skin's texture, it was exaggerating a lot of texture, and it was not long wearing. I didn't find any of that to be the case. Usually stick foundations can cling onto your texture, can look a little bit cakey, but this didn't do any of that, and I cannot understand why so many people didn't like this product. And next, moving on to some concealers. I tried out this one. This was raved after so much that I had to place an order and get it. This one is the Simply Nam Hydra Fit Concealer. I got this one in the shade Kawa 2W, which is a pretty good match for my skin tone. But I just didn't like it as much. I feel like it's a very, very thin concealer. Now, if you're someone who has nearly flawless skin, you don't really have a lot of dark circles, and you just want something with a light amount of coverage and just for everyday use, you would absolutely love it. It is that kind of a concealer for people with perfect skin or people with not so much dark circles. But for me, it was just not enough. Like, it faded away the minute I started to blend it. You could see the darkness peek through. I applied a couple of different layers of this and it still started to fade away. So it's just not worth it for me to try out a concealer like this, because I have concealers that are a little bit more affordable as well, that last a really long time, that looks beautiful on my skin, and also high-end concealers that are hit most of the times for me, so I don't have to be so experimental with my concealer. This reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, if you remember that, which gives you barely any coverage. I mean, this has a little bit more coverage than that, but not long lasting enough and not enough. I've seen people with intense dark circles use this. It was all over my Instagram feed, and that's the reason I picked it up, and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. On the other hand, I tried this Morphe concealer. I got this one in the shade Cashew 9W. I wanted to intentionally pick up a darker shade because I'm always ending up with lighter neutral looking shades. This is a little bit dark and a little bit more peach looking on my skin, but I don't mind that. When I blended it out, it looks so good, and I expected this to be extremely matte, but it has a creamy skin-like finish, good coverage, good lasting power, and like always, I don't really set my under eye concealer, and it's what I have underneath my eyes right now, and I like it. I like how it looks. It looks really nice and natural, and I can see myself reaching out for this on a day-to-day basis without having to do a lot. Sometimes I don't want to use a color corrector. I should be able to use a concealer irrespective of not having to use a color corrector, if you know what I mean. I have dark circles, but it's not even that intense. So on a day-to-day basis, I have concealers I just use on its own, so I know what I'm talking about. It just doesn't have to be always about color correction. So yeah, this also I used without color correction, and I love it. You could color correct by all means. It's your personal preference, and it's my personal preference if I don't want to, but I like the finish of this concealer a lot. And then I also got this Estee Lauder Futurist concealer. It's not a new launch by any means, but this was in my wish list for a long time because I've seen a lot of people mention this has a very natural finish with good coverage. So those kind of concealers fall in my list. Like, my category checks all the boxes for me. So I picked this one up. It does look very skin-like, has light medium to medium coverage, but not cakey at all. It has that subtle hydration to it as well when you apply it underneath your eyes. I mean, it's not the most long-lasting concealer. Again, I wore this the other day pretty much like throughout the day. Like, it does look good all over your face as well, just on its own. It looks really nice. Underneath your eyes as well, it looks like you have some product on, but you can also see traces of it beginning to fade. So it's not the most long-lasting concealer I own, but not bad. I absolutely love it. I picked it up on a really good steal again from Tira, and I love it, and I can quickly see myself putting this in my everyday makeup drawer, replacing it with my Lancome concealer. So yeah, this I picked up in the shade 4N, and in this brand, N means you get something a little bit more pink. And then moving on, let's talk about blushes. I tried out this Morphe Cheek Thrills blush palette, which was again so tempting when you see some people talk about products. They can talk about products the most delicious, juicy way and make it look so yummy that you'll want to try it out because it looks so beautiful on their skin. And the minute you try it out, you'll be like, what was the hype all about? I like the cream blush. It is really nice, a little bit dewy. This blush topper is a little bit shimmery. It looks nice in this kind of a lighting, but I can also see shimmer particles, like few chunky shimmer particles that are there on my skin, but not that visible. Like maybe under certain lighting, it will be a little bit more prominent. But if you are in for a little shimmery looking products, not chunky glitter, a little bit of fine shimmer particles, you would like this. And this powder blush also, though looks so light, actually looks nice and pigmented. It's just that you don't have to layer all of it at once just because it's in one palette. You can probably use just these two or just use the powder blush on its own. And it's a good value for money compared to the Patrick Ta blush, because Patrick Ta can be a little bit too pigmented, a little bit harder to blend. This one seems to be a little bit more easier and you get more value for your money. You get 10 grams of product, 3 different finishes as well. So this seems more likely something that you can try out. Also from Morphe. Morphe has been killing it with their launches. I really like most of the products I've tried out. This one is their Euphoric blush in the shade Intoxicated. It has this kind of a pattern and all of that, and it's a very nice dewy looking blush, and it's what I have on this side of my face, and it's also quite long lasting. Like both of these blushes are quite long lasting. I applied this blush like around 2 to 3 hours ago, and I still really like how it looks on my skin. I definitely like the finish of this as well. So if you're in for dewy cream blushes, you would really like it. It looks like skin as well, and it's very pigmented, so make sure to use the lighter amounts of it. I initially applied too much, blush blindness. And then I got this Fay Beauty, they don't have what it's called, okay, Fay Beauty Mirror Glass Balm, and this is not like a highlighter, this is like a balm. Okay, so it doesn't have a lot of shimmer, it just has that balmy feel, and I really like it. It gives you that glow without having too much of shimmer or chunky glitter particles, and it looks very natural, and which is the trend right now. You can see a lot of people use these kind of products, and if you didn't want to try out something from Fay, but you're in for highlighters like this, you can try out this one from the Korean, and I think around the same price range. Hence. It's like I'm sometimes learning a new language. But this also is that clear, transparent balm that gives you that wet, balmy feel. So if you don't want to try out Fay Beauty, you could try this out or just stick to Fay Beauty. It is a beautiful product, has a really nice finish, and I can use this on my eyes as well. But if you're using this on your eyes, it can make the eyeshadow that goes on top of it a little bit harder to blend, because this has a little bit of a sticky feel. Like it doesn't feel like sticky on the skin, but when you're applying the eyeshadow, you can feel the tackiness. And then I picked up these two Ruby's Organics One Stick Sculpt concept. Really nice. Like you can use this one for like your contour, you can use this like a blush, you can use this as a lip liner, lipstick, and all of that. Blendability is so good. But the only problem with this is I have this in 2 shades. Espresso is a little bit more cool toned, ashy kind of a contour shade, so it works for chiseling out your cheekbone. You have the shade Pekin, which works as a bronzer. It's a little bit more warm toned. The shades, everything is beautiful. Blendability is so nice, but just that it blends into oblivion. It blends into nothing. Like nothing is left behind. I feel like the pigmentation could have been a little bit better. Maybe the texture of the product also could have that little waxy, or I mean, it could have been a little bit thicker so that it leaves behind some pigmentation. When I blended it out, can you see the contour on my face? I don't think so. I mean, even if you're using it just for your day-to-day usage, you can use this and blend it out with your fingers and all of that. The blendability is so good. Just that it blends into nothing. I cannot see the product. I even tried to use it on my nose as a contour. I'm not even sure if it's seen that well. So yeah, that's the only problem with this. Yeah, it is what it is. What can I do? I can't go change the formulation of the product. And then for eyeshadow, I picked up this one from Daily Forever 52. This is their Dazzle Dot Glitter. This is in the shade Silver Haze 09. This is what I have on my eyes, and this is what I look for in single eyeshadows. It's not rough, it's not chunky glitter, it's not something that has a lot of fallout. It's just foily, reflective and beautiful looking, and they have so many different shades in this, and it's not even that pricey. I think I got this for around 400-ish. I'm definitely going to be picking up more shades because this reminds me of my Too Faced single eyeshadows, and these have better shade options than that. So yeah, I'm loving how it looks. It has no fallout, nothing, you guys, nothing. Such a good product this is. And then for lips, I tried out the Maybelline lipsticks. This was a new launch. Of course, I did partner with the brand, but that doesn't alter my opinion about the product. I have rejected so many Maybelline collaborations in the past, but this one was so good that I had to take it. This one has a satin finish as well as a matte finish. I really like both of it. The satin one, it just feels like a lip balm and something with a little bit of pigmentation and beautiful shades as well. And the matte one again is like creamy matte, very comfortable, very lightweight. You don't even feel like you have a product on, and it's not something that fades away in a whiff. Like I've used this shade Wild Card, which is a red shade, and had like big meals. It was not bleeding, not feathering, not fading. It was still left, you know, on my lips. But for a serum lipstick, this is so good. And if you have dry lips, you would love it. And they have really good shades. I have swatched all of this. I'm not sure if that video is going up before this or after this, but so good. I really liked it. And then I also picked up this one from Too Faced. This one is their Kissing Juicy Tint. I don't see a lot of people talk about Too Faced products anymore, but they make some of the best products, and I also really didn't see anyone talk about this particular product. And this is a lip tint. I got this one in the shade Raspberry. I love the way it looks on my lips and the tint it leaves behind. It's super hydrating, very lightweight. It doesn't cling on to any texture, doesn't emphasize anything, and when it fades away, the tint, so good. I can see myself reaching out for this every single day. I'm a lip tint person, and to make it a little bit more long lasting and a little bit more feasible for me, and so that I don't have to reapply it very often, I use a good lip liner underneath all of my lip tints, or just pair it up with the Nude Sticks lip crayons, because those are long lasting and very good color payoff. So yeah, nice product. So yeah, I think I covered everything pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do let me know if you want to watch more such videos in the comments down below. Let me know which other product you have your eyes on and you want me to try out, and I shall do that as well. And see you guys in my next one. Bye.